They did what? It's not the season finale? Come on and talk to us about Gotham.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We are loud. We are here. We are ready to talk about Gotham Season 5, Episode 11. They did what? I'm your host, Steve Kaufman, with the full strength, the full panel.
Yes, the full strength
panel.
of the GCPD.
The full Monty, if you will. I don't know where that came from. I'm getting a little punchy. Introduce yourselves before I say some stuff I'll regret. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? Carla Beltran here.
And Zach Peter. Hi, we're back. We're ready. We're excited.
Guys, penultimate episodes of series are amazing. This one is no exception.
No.
They've literally been building this episode for exactly 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Because we pretty much saw the flashback in season 5, episode 1 of the showdown that we later saw at this episode. And where they ended us is that Bruce is leaving Gotham forever.
Not forever.
Not forever.
Never say never.
He's hoping
never
not
say
forever. He's hoping he never won. He's hoping that Jim Gordon does his job and he never has to be Batman.
So this is basically when he goes and prepares himself to become Batman. Right?
Kind of.
He goes, he does ayahuasca, he finds himself with the shaman, and then he comes back as Batman.
He gets taller.
He gets taller.
Taller is
Some platform shoes.
Taller is very important for Batman. He studies martial arts in the continent.
So do we think that they're going to bring a new actor for the final Batman, or do we think David is going to be like the Batman that we see in the final?
I have heard, which means nothing, that they hired a taller man to then CG David's face onto.
That's emasculating.
Captain America, in like a reverse Captain America.
Okay. As long as it's still him.
It's still him. He's still on set. He's still acting and reacting.
Makeup can do wonders, honestly.
Well, you can't make up somebody taller.
No, you can't make up somebody taller, but you can make them look older.
But you can make them look older.
And also, if you angle the camera at the right spot, you can go ahead and become taller.
I don't know. I think it's I'll use Captain America as an example.
Oh yeah.
Like the very
He's not that buff.
Captain America. Oh no, it's the other way.
Oh.
He in the early parts of Captain America: First Avenger, where he was a scrawny kid from
smaller.
Brooklyn. They essentially cast a scrawnier, not as tall version, and then they CG'd Chris Evans' head onto that person. The only thing that doesn't look right is the uncanny valley. It doesn't look right because it shouldn't look right, but it looks fine. And then they don't linger on it that much. I think this will look fine. I haven't seen any stills. I also don't know. Maybe David has been playing down how tall he is this whole time.
Doubtful.
He's
tall
pretty
is he?
tall.
I'm gonna look this up.
I mean, also they lucked out with that. They lucked out with both Bruce and Selina, the
Actors.
the actors they chose, because that's a long play.
Yeah.
That it's you're gonna like.
You have to grow up into becoming this character, and they basically grew up becoming themselves.
Yeah, like that. I think it worked out very well. Alfred was
not as hurt as I expected him
I
to
think
be at the end of that episode.
Were we expecting him to be dead last week? I feel like we were expecting him to be
No,
dead.
but
we were calling him like in a wheelchair.
We were calling a wheelchair or a cane, but we didn't think he was going to walk again. And then when he walked to his Rolls Royce, he was perfectly fine.
Well, he had a cane, but
Batman is 5'9".
Okay.
Oh, he's 5'9"?
Batman
He's
is
5'9". David is 5'9".
David is 5'9". Okay,
How old
I was
is
like,
he? He's like 18.
he's probably
Makeup,
16.
Carla, makeup. It makes him look
I don't
younger.
think it'll be. 5'9" is.
How old is he?
You could
5'9" is pretty tall.
Drew Barrymore is like 3'4", and we all believe she's as tall as everyone else.
Oh, you're right. He is 18.
Yeah, he's 18.
Um,
And 5'9", damn, that's really tall.
what do we think the letter? What do we think the letter to Selina said?
I love you, but I need to go find myself.
Yeah.
And I look straight at the camera.
It said, "Here's my room key. Meet me in 1501."
Cool.
The hotel down the street.
Well, she really read through. She really read through the code. That's what it.
Yeah.
That's what it said. She went to the airport and watched his plane take off.
She was too late.
I think it said. I'm sure it said where he was going.
He said, "You down for a quickie? You up?" That's all it said.
I think we could tell it was a bit more characters than that. Do we think this is what turns Selina to crime?
Yes.
Yes, her heart is broken. What else is going to turn you to crime? Nobody goes to crime because they're happy and like in love. Like, are you going to rob a bank if you're in love right now? No, you wait for the man to crush your heart, and then you're like, damn this world. And
Maybe
then you
if
pull
my
out your
husband
whip.
wants to go rob a bank, maybe we'll go together.
Okay, Bonnie and Clyde. Vibes.
My guess and my hope is that she saved the letter, because that's with her catalyst for every catalyst. I did it. That's a pun jar. Thank you. I think that's what's going to move her forward to this time jump we're going to do. That's what made her her criminal. So she keeps that letter, and we get to read that letter next week. My presumption is it'll say something to the effect of he needs to grow as a person, but he loves her.
And it's me and not you.
Basically,
Yes.
what I said.
No, but like I
Thank
need
you.
to, but like because if he loves her, you would think he'd be like, I need to leave Gotham, and I'd like you to leave with me so we can grow together. But he's making a point to say we need to grow apart.
Yeah.
And find each other again in the future.
Possibly
Next week on Gotham.
You know, there is a saying that says, if you love something, sometimes you just have to let it go. And if it comes back, it was always yours. And if it doesn't, then it never was. So, are they going to come back together?
And there's also a saying that says, never trust an F-boy because he'll leave you at the end of the day.
Oof.
On his private jet.
Probably on the first statement, I'm just noticing Paco still has a leash, so I don't know. I don't know how to take that.
What?
That's my joke on that statement.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so you love your dog so much you don't have a leash for your dog?
No, that's not true.
Not at all.
You guys did actually. I think at the end of the episode last I was gonna say last week, but we weren't here last week.
Yes.
You guys were like, "Oh my gosh, there's a puppy," and there is actually a puppy in the studio. His name is Paco. He is my lovely son. So if you guys want to see pictures of Paco, videos of Paco,
He's currently up for adoption. You can call the number below.
No, he is not for adoption. He is my baby. But yeah, I post about Paco almost every other day, and he is here in the studio with us right now.
Y'all were real quick to catch Paco last
quick.
time.
Time.
Super quick. I
It was
like, oh my
immediately
gosh.
in the chat, like, Paco! Paco! So, let's move on to Oswald and Nigma, who helped both save the city, and now they want to take over the city. Because they have problems with authority. I think this is what it really boils down to. And I love that final scene where they were both ready to double-cross each other, and then gave up at the exact same moment.
It was like a Gotham version of like Romeo and Juliet. It's like we're gonna kill each other together, but then like we're not because we still love each other and we're gonna be frenemies till the end.
Which
Frenemies.
Which version of Romeo and Juliet did they teach you?
Where they killed each other, or what they killed them? Well,
Oh,
I mean,
They
they
don't kill
okay.
each other.
killed themselves for each other.
One of them. Okay.
Did I?
No. I wanted to see if there was some type of like alternate version of Romeo and Juliet they're teaching in schools, maybe, where they both.
What is the version of Romeo and Juliet?
Juliet kills herself because she thinks Romeo would, and then Romeo doesn't, and then he has to live with that shame for the rest of his life.
He doesn't die. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
No,
he dies.
No, because do I have it confused? Because
You're
then
confused.
because then in
They
West Side.
kill each other.
No, they
No.
don't kill each other.
They
She
kill
is
themselves.
poisoned, but she's like sleeping or something. Yeah, so she gets poisoned, but she's sleeping.
Okay, Romeo and
Yeah.
Juliet
And then-
spoilers. Sorry.
You guys,
Spoilers.
really, she's sleeping, and then he goes and he poisons himself. But when she wakes up, she realizes that like he killed himself for her. So then she ends up like drinking the rest of the poison.
And killing herself too, and they died together.
Oh.
That's
Yes,
the
they
point
died
I was
together.
making in Gotham. See, you thought I thought you. Never
We're
mind.
in a
You
whole-
confused me.
we're in a
But
whole tailspin
That's
here.
what I thought. Is like they both had the knives ready, and they were going to kill each other, and it was going to be like a moment where like we kill each. Well, I guess I kill you because I love me, but then it's like I love you too much that I'm not going to kill you.
They
And
did.
we're frenemies till the end.
They did. I guess I'm confusing it with West Side Story, where I'm not going to spoil that in case y'all haven't seen it. It's the best picture.
Well, we're not going to spoil anything from Romeo and Juliet because
We're talking
is
about
Gotham.
Well, we're talking. It's Gotham, y'all.
If Steve just understood my references, we wouldn't have gone on tangents.
That is fair. That we're allowed one tangent. That was our tangent.
That's
was
our
our
first
one
tangent
tangent.
in the past like 2 years. So congratulations
Minus
to us.
Paco.
I'm minus Paco.
So Oswald and Nigma gonna team together, or do you think by the time jump next week there's gonna be a schism?
Schism.
Schism?
I think they're gonna break up.
Yeah, they're not gonna work together to take over Gotham because they don't have the same vision. They both have separate visions, and you can't share power because they want all the
they're
power for
both
themselves.
alphas. They're both alphas, and they both have their own, like Carla said, very distinct vision of how they want to run Gotham themselves. That like, there's not going to be a room for there to be a two-person.
Yeah.
Like it's King of the Hill.
Okay.
But they're not going to get in each other's way.
I think they'll get in each other's way so that they can win at the end of the day.
Really?
Yeah, I think like they screw with each other, you know?
Yeah.
Riddler's going to be like, no, Penguin, I'm going to screw with you so that I'm King of the Hill, and Penguin does the same.
So the submarine that we were all assumed would fail actually succeeded?
We're not really sure.
Nissa got in that submarine with the dog.
But we don't know if she got away.
And the gold. I don't think that submarine made it very far.
No, she's
I
going to be...
guess we'll find out next week's
Next
episode.
week we'll find her at the bottom of the ocean, and she ate the dog. In the comics, do
Please
Riddler
don't.
and Penguin, do they work together?
At times.
They are like frenemies.
Of comic book characters, Nigma, Penguin, and Batman have the most lineage. And Joker as well. Like, there's so much lineage to them, and I'm sure there are volumes upon volumes you can find of them teaming up, and then them turning, and then them being friends again, and like
frenemies to the end.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, comic books are weird that you could find a version that says exactly, make your point exactly. Because there's like something like Batman, I don't want to say there's a lack of continuity, but so many different authors take on that character for so many different years that it's hard to find a like steadfast continuity. Like Oswald always pairs with Nigma. It's like, that's different. Yeah. People in the chat saying that as well.
Yeah, but I was asking if the chat is open. Sorry, you guys, we were so like into the conversation. Yes, the chat is open. I am here, listening to you guys. What's up, Jenna James, Big Face Hundreds, Star Drew, Ivan Soto, Billie Jean 24, Eric, Jonathan Shaw. I think I already said Star Drew.
All the usual suspects.
Yes, you guys, honestly, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for being a part of, like, basically this panel for the past, like, 2 years. It's so awesome to kind of let it all come to an end.
5 years for some.
Oh, yeah, 5 years.
5 years. Thank you for
me.
being a part of this panel, being a part of this show for 5 years. I brought her up. Let's get into Nissa Al Ghul.
Nissa Al Ghul.
And Barbara Lee Gordon, not to be confused with Barbara Keene.
Mm-hmm. Or Lee Gordon.
Or Lee Gordon. That's going to get confusing.
It is.
It's going to get confusing fast.
We'll
also,
just call her Barbara Lee. Babby Lee? I don't know.
Why don't we just call her Baby Lee?
Or Barbara Jr.?
She's not Baby Lee.
Okay, Baby Barbara.
I like Baby Barbara.
Okay, we'll call
Baby
her Baby
Barbara.
Barbara.
Baby Barbara, who Gordon has not met yet.
No.
Nissa takes Barbara Sr. hostage in the same room with the general, which is also the mayor's mansion? Penguin's mansion? They're in that lobby again.
Yes.
They're in that lobby again at the very end of the episode. And
Yeah.
I think it's the mayor's mansion in Gotham, which they do a lot in the mayor's mansion this whole season. And there's a pretty good fight scene here where Gordon and Barbara outwit the daughter of Ra's al Ghul.
I liked it. I liked them taking her down together as like parents for their baby. When you got a baby, you do whatever you need to do to save your baby. And they did that, and they took her down.
And I love that Barbara did it in high heels.
The entire time. Like that was until her very last, until she was walking out with the baby in her arms, she had high heels on. I loved it. She gave birth in high heels. She took out the army in high heels. Like she's
a real mom.
She killed Nissa Al Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, 2 days after giving birth. One day,
basically.
like
1 day.
1 day after giving birth.
It's basically the same day because all the days are meshing together.
A little bit. Like this is definitely
Because the night that they arrived, it was the night that he was also told that the army was coming, or I guess maybe the next day.
It was the next day.
Okay.
She had the baby at night because they were outside at night, and then by the time she killed Nissa, I keep wanting to say Nissa.
I might be. You might be right.
Nissa, and by the time she killed Nissa, there was light out, so it was maybe 24 hours.
That's badass.
Impressive in high heels.
Very
After
much
giving
so.
birth.
After giving birth, and her like dress that like immaculately stayed intact.
Good for her.
TV.
Good for the scene. Good for
Gotham.
future Batgirl, I think is what we should call her.
Okay.
She is for sure future Batgirl. If we're gonna have a 20-year time jump, which I don't think we will, but if we did, she'd be Batgirl. That would be just the easy.
So do you think we'll see her as like Selina was at the beginning of this series?
We'll see her as
she's
a
like
little
young
girl for
and
sure.
she's kind of like, you know.
I assume
still
it's only a
kicking
10
butt.
or 15-year time jump, so we're going to see her.
I thought it was 10 years.
Is it 10? We know it's 10.
I
So
thought
it'll
we
be
knew it was
it'll be
10.
a 10-year-old girl learning to be a vigilante because her parents are cops.
Her dad is a cop.
Her dad.
Her dad's a commissioner, and then Lee was cop adjacent. Also,
Well, that's not her parent. That's her stepmom.
fair, but who do you think's raising
Yeah,
her?
but it's still.
Stepmonster.
Who do you think raising that kid? Do you think all three of them are raising that kid?
I think Barbara's raising that kid.
Yeah, Barbara's raising that kid,
Bar-
and they get to help out.
I mean, and Barbara with the red hair, you guys.
I'm all.
I know. Okay, so is that because she's becoming a new character?
No.
No, she's just got red hair. Because Barbara from this Gotham series is a fairly original creation. They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
She had shades of Harley Quinn. She had shades of she had shades of so much that it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but they have a lot of leeway with essentially Batgirl's mom.
Okay, fair.
Is what they've created with
How
it.
important was her role in the comics?
Non-existent.
very.
Like
Barely anything.
kind of sort of like once again lineage wise you can find a comic where I'm dead wrong.
Yeah.
But like by and large, the Barbara Keene or the Barbara Gordon we all knew became Batgirl. So the mother of Batgirl is very much an open season kind of a character.
Got it. I like the red hair. I like Barbara's character from just the evolution. Like, that is my favorite character, hands down, of this entire series.
We know.
I just had to remind everybody. It's been 4 weeks.
A year ago when she was on this show, we
Died.
Yeah, we were just like.
you died.
Died.
This
So
is actually,
dead.
I don't even think we
The
were paying
accent
attention
threw
to what
me
she was
off,
saying.
but
I was
died.
just like, hello.
Let's get into this showdown. We've got Bane. We've got all of the army who now can't be told to stand down by the general. Although, quick question. Did anyone in the mayor's mansion try picking up the radio and impersonating the general?
No.
That would have been smart.
I just want the 30-second scene of him trying and then go, Gordon, we know your voice.
That
Like,
would have been smart.
like,
And if he would
aw.
have been able to pull it off, that would have been even better. But I would have loved to have seen them catch him in.
just
Yeah.
like that's a 30-second just for me. I'm real particular.
Just for you.
Because they did. Like, that was in a script somewhere where it's like, I guess we pick up the radio and we try. What does he sound like?
Oh.
He's like kind of Southern, right? I don't know.
You're
What
so you're so sold on this idea, and I don't know if this was a real thing, Steve. I think this is only
I think logically it's a real thing. What do we
fair.
got?
Somebody on the chat, Eric Olin, said something towards Sags. He said, "Zach, we all know you have a man crush on Saz. So if you had to pick between Saz and Barbara, who would it be?"
Why would we?
Here's our
Why wouldn't
special.
we?
Why would we do
This
that
is
to
our
him?
special segment right here. Zaz or Barbara? I mean, I would have to go. I do love Zaz, but I have to go with Barbara only because she's been such a bigger character, and we've really seen the evolution. Where Zaz has been very consistent in his role, and it's funny and it's great and it works as a sidekick. But Barbara Keene takes it all the way.
Okay, fair.
So you want a buddy cop comedy with Zaz and Barbara?
Oh my God, that would be amazing! That should be the spinoff we get.
Hulu and/or Netflix. Y'all can start bidding.
I will resubscribe to Hulu if
Probably
that
Hulu.
happens.
The line starts.
Yeah, I see it happening on Hulu.
The line starts on Burbank Boulevard. just line up. Every distribution
Could you
platform.
imagine Barbara Keene and Zaz together, just taking on the world?
That'd be
And
awesome.
then Lee and Gordon can raise the baby.
Okay,
That's one way to do it.
I'm into it. So Bane
Bane.
has a whole army.
Yeah.
The one person who defied him, he snapped their neck real fast. And they're just destroying the city, as they were at the end of last episode. They're just going at it, taking everything down. Bruce and Selina tried to stop them by making the city a maze.
I mean, it stalled. It was a
yeah,
fairly
it was a
successful.
stall.
It was a fairly successful stall. I was a little confused by the bats. I wasn't really feeling the bats.
Yeah, Before we talk about the bats, we should get into the bats. I do want to mention, thank you all so much for joining us here on AfterBuzz TV. It helps us grow. And if you like what we do here, I think there's plenty of other things in our catalog that we could recommend. This is AfterBuzz TV Sci-Fi and Fantasy. The playlist shares a heritage, a lineage, if you will, with AfterBuzz TV, the mothership, just youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. We also have
Reality
TV, which
that's my department right here.
That's your department.
Yes!
Wrestling and sports. You may or may not see my face from time to time on that channel.
And drama. Carla's pretty good at the drama channel.
Well,
Carla's at the drama channel. We're gonna ask that you subscribe to one or more of those channels, and then get into an after show for a show that you really love. We become the focal point for the community, for the conversation about the thing that you love. And if you support that, you can then support us for doing that. Then there's more people who join the community that you're a part of. And it helps everybody. So that's also give us 5 stars on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud and all the stuff that all the audio goes out to.
All the places.
what's Stitcher?
Stitcher's the thing.
Oh.
That's for people that have Androids.
That is...
And
okay.
I
Stitcher.
support their decision.
I support that too.
At least they have a platform, so that's good.
Wow. But AfterBuzz TV means a lot to me. Actually, it's no secret that next week Gotham season finale will be my fifth year and final show here at AfterBuzz TV. I kind of sort of owe my career to the visibility I was able to get from doing stuff here on shows like this. Getting that blue check mark, getting followed back by some people who I could then DM and explain, there's money on YouTube, can I go and get it for you? That's pretty much the very short part of the very short story of my career, and it started here at AfterBuzz. So I would very much like you to support it and make it continue to grow so more people have more opportunities like I had. And yeah, next week, one last time. It looks to be a doozy.
So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode.
Don't miss
Yes.
We'll be here 7 p.m.
Not
to be a
I was
party.
gonna say every week, but not
Just
anymore.
next
We
week.
only have one more week. I know. Carla was so excited. She started growling.
Yeah.
So, Bane and the Bats, which I believe unhooked the thing that was getting into it, like the Venomy thing.
The air.
Well, he had like the...
Is that like his oxygen?
Yeah, like the version of Bane I'm thinking of from the bad movie, the Uma Thurman movie, had quite literal plant venom coursing through his veins with a button that made him like grow.
Like Ivy Venom?
That's not what the Gotham version. It's not Ivy Venom. I think it's the stuff they were mining in the tunnels with the Jeremiah, the cult of Jeremiah.
Oh, okay.
They were using that, and then they hooked him up to that. But the little cord, the bats knocked that cord out, and that's why he was freaking out so hard when the bats were attacking him. Because the bats weren't actually attacking him so much; they were going toward a sonar. Because bats don't actually attack. Bats are weird.
They sleep upside down.
They do, but their
fact.
organs are right side up to us. And they can be trained to be not nocturnal.
Was that their moment of like trying to say that he is Batman?
Yes.
By like having
100%.
all of these bats come out and be like, okay, now this is the moment where he has become Batman. Because he has bats that come at his call. And
I
he's
think
a
so.
man now.
Yes.
The balls have dropped.
Well, he also blew up a building and fought Bane.
Fair.
Like, do you think Bruce leaving to train, hopefully, is partly because of, like, I want to be able to just take down Bane
see,
next time I fight Bane?
I thought his training was with Ra's al Ghul. Like, I thought that was his training moment where, like, he was mentally coming into it and physically learning his fighting. Like, I thought we already had that moment. I didn't realize why. I didn't understand why we had to go back into the mountains.
I'm thinking about The Dark Knight, where he goes and he gets trained, but isn't it it's by a different group, right? It's not by...
Well, if you're thinking Batman Begins, he gets trained by the League of Assassins, it was
Ra's al Ghul.
Okay.
Ra's al Ghul, but he
Then
doesn't reveal himself to be Ra's al Ghul until the end of Batman Begins.
Okay.
Spoilers to Batman Begins. But
Then again, when he goes to prison while Bane is taking over is when he gets like sort of
Further-
retrained.
Kind of, but like he
But
took
on his own.
But he took like close to 10 years off between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises,
Mm-hmm.
so it's all muddled.
Well, yeah, but here we are. He's going to take 10 years.
Yeah, he's like Batman can always train,
Fair.
and then at some point he becomes Ben Affleck. No,
No,
no, not at all.
no, please, no.
But I like that he's going away. I like they're giving him time to like come back to the Gotham that most viewers not of this show, just if people are tuning in next week to be like, oh, I wonder what Gotham's about.
Yeah.
It'll be the show they thought.
Yeah.
It'll be the show they thought it was this whole time. I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
The people are like, oh, Steve, you've been following Gotham for 5 years. I finally caught that finale. It's amazing.
Right.
Cool. That's not the show I've been watching, but thank you.
I mean, it looks really exciting, though. I'm curious to see what brings him back to Gotham. Like, does he just find himself and he's like, okay, I miss Gotham? Or is there, like, something that happens that he's like, I need to save Gotham?
I think that brings me to a prediction. But before we do that, do we have anything else about this final showdown? I like that the refugees all make that selfless act to stand by the GCPD,
Yeah.
who are otherwise sacrificing for them.
I mean, that was very ballsy.
I
Like, they could have all died.
I write showdown, and I think like we were waiting 11 weeks worth of like a showdown, and like we got the shootout earlier in the episode, but like this felt inactive would be the word to me. That it's like, oh man, it's going down, everyone's locked and loaded, and it's happening and everything, and then the refugees show up, and then everyone turns on Bane, and I'm like, oh,
That was an interesting. Like, there was
they've earned it. Like
Yeah.
the story earned this. Like
Yeah.
the story all
Was
week,
so
like
built
all
up.
episode really earned. No, those refugees are coming back. Everyone's going to do the right thing and stand up for the place they want to live versus flee it and hope Jim Gordon can save the day.
Yeah.
Which is, those are like, the strength in numbers are the kind of heroes a city actually needs versus the kind of hero Batman always was. And like I think this show always did a good job of explaining that just with Gordon, that like Gordon wants to be the city's savior, but if the city has a savior, then they don't understand what they have. They don't understand what they can fight for. So I ultimately like the ending, but it did strike me a little inactive.
I agree. It was not as eventful as I expected it to be. I thought it was a little anticlimactic, only because that's like what they opened up the season with, is that like there's going to be this big battle and this is how we save Gotham.
Yeah, I was very excited for it. I was like, oh my gosh, the moment is finally here. This is what we've been waiting for. And it was like really short.
Yeah,
But it was like,
But it was good.
It pulled on a heartstring. I was like, oh, okay. I liked that. I didn't hate it.
No, and I like that most of our predictions didn't come true. Like we thought, like,
I like
oh,
that a
Barbara's
lot.
going to die,
See,
or like
we
somebody was
can
like,
roll
Somebody
back the
gonna
tape.
die.
I said Barbara was not gonna. I said there was a chance Barbara would die, but that
no. You said that Barbara was going to die.
I did not say that.
He didn't say that. We
yeah.
said that.
You
said
said,
that.
she was definitely going to die, and I would say I said I would understand if they killed her off in battle to save the baby, but I don't want that to happen, and I hope that doesn't happen. And if we had the clip handy, I would make them play it.
Speaking of predictions, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's get in there.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Assuming it's one villain, who do you think makes Bruce come back to Gotham?
Actually, that is a prediction on the chat.
Yes.
By Il Ego. He says, isn't he coming back for the opening of the new Wayne Tower? Which makes sense.
We saw a shot of the new Wayne Tower.
Yeah, so maybe he comes back.
Does it take
not
10 years to
necessarily-
build?
Probably. That looks like
Maybe.
I mean, they're rebuilding the whole city, so
Yeah, that's fair.
construction delays. They're
Yeah.
still a union town.
I mean, they've been building the 5 freeway here since I was like 18, and now I'm 25, and it's still not done. So
Fair.
They will perpetually be building the 5
yes.
freeway.
So for a second, I thought that there was going to be a new character coming into town, like maybe a new villain. But I think we've seen them all, so I don't know that they would introduce anybody new in this 10-year time jump. But I like the idea of him coming back, not necessarily because something bad is going on, but just because he's ready to be back.
Yeah.
Than having to be forced to be back.
Okay.
Like because of something.
You on that train, Zach?
No, I
Okay.
want to respond to Star Jones, who said Barbara can still die in the finale. How dare you? Rude.
I think it's Jeremiah.
I think it's Jeremiah too. I think Jeremiah, I mean, he's the only one that has such a deep connection with Bruce Wayne that would actually instigate. I mean, and they've pimped him out so much over the past few weeks and like shown the stills of his face and the solo trailer of just him laughing. Like, he has to have a big role in the finale. Mm-hmm. But Hal is going to be crazy because he looks ugly.
Well, I'm actually kind of hoping that the way that this ends is they're able to do like a whole spin-off with like Jeremiah and Batman and stuff. That would be really awesome.
That would be, but I think we would have heard about it by now.
It is not greenlit. That doesn't mean it's a backdoor pilot. It's what it looks like. Aside from being a good ending of just this is the Gotham everyone was expecting versus the Gotham we gave them for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then that's not a negative. That's not a knock. I love this show, but like to give them like no, there's a Batman. I think there's also something to be said. There's also something to be said about the Fox merger, so that like Fox doesn't really want to take on anything crazy right now until Disney gets their hands in, and then Warner Brothers produces this show, and Warner Brothers insists on shows having 100 episodes, so that I don't know. I think they're gonna hold this up as a success and then see what comes of it.
I think that I will predict a spin-off, not necessarily about Batman, but I think they would pick another main character to kind of follow that art. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Joker spin-off.
That would be very interesting.
We are getting a Joker movie this year, so.
We are. Let's get into it. Selina, how long do you think she immediately turned to crime from that airport, and she's been a criminal for the last 10 years?
Yeah, I think she's been very angry and heartbroken, and she hasn't heard from Bruce, and that just continues to darken her heart.
You think he hasn't written to her or
What's
anything?
he gonna do, text her?
I mean,
Lucius Fox, CEO of Wayne Enterprises?
Totally.
Yes.
100% CEO, making all the calls. Alfred is some type of shadow. Alfred doesn't have an official title, but he consults.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of sad to see him lose his place, though. I mean, he's going to need to he's going to need to find a place at Wayne Enterprises now that he doesn't have Bruce.
I think he could be the head of community outreach, because I think he'd be a very old guard person who'd want to be very involved on the money side of rebuilding a whole city.
Yeah.
So I think like something like maybe if he has like a weird title like head of community outreach, but he's for real like a lead consultant to Lucius. I don't know, corporate structures, y'all. I think you're as excited as I am about the corporate structures of Wayne Enterprises. Oswald and Nigma, does the schism happen immediately?
It happens when we come back, yes.
Or, but like, does it happen?
No, I think there's a little bit of time where they think that they can coexist and then realize that they just have different visions.
Yeah.
But like less than a year from where we are right now to where we'll be 10 years from now?
I think it's going to take a minute.
Okay.
I think it's going to take a minute, and they're going to try to coexist because they've built this new kind of kinship over the past year or X number of days since they built the submarine together, and they were going to escape together, and then they were going to kill each other, and they didn't kill each other out of respect for each other. So I think it's going to take a minute.
Okay.
You guys, there's like some news here.
Okay.
Oh.
Jenna James says that Alfred's getting his show too on some weird network,
that's right.
not related.
Pennyworth is a show.
Okay. It's not attached to Gotham though.
No.
Next.
I've seen the trailer. It looks good, but it has
Does
nothing.
it?
It's nothing.
It doesn't sound
has
great.
nothing to do with this universe. But Alfred
okay.
was
It's
always a bad A.
But this is like based off his life in the past, a prequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a standalone prequel about Alfred.
Okay.
Mirror Domain says that Echo is back because she's in the promo, so she'll be
Is
back.
she?
Echo, yeah. Well, because Joker's back.
Yes.
Joker's coming back.
She's gonna break him out of Arkham. I'm calling it now.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm into that.
I like that. I love that prediction.
Do we? I haven't seen the pictures, but I'm assuming Jim Gordon has a mustache. Like
No.
Okay.
I think
I
I'm
think so.
100% that Commissioner Gordon
Yeah.
stash. That 70s stash.
Yes. I can see that, and that would look hot on Jim Gordon.
So do we think
Ben
Barbara
McKenzie.
Ben McKenzie.
Do we think Barbara Gordon is a villain by the normal sense of the word in this new Gotham where she also has a cop's daughter?
No.
No, she's not a villain, but she's definitely still out there being a badass.
I think she's still running her club. She's still a little shady, but like,
She's a shady club owner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like she legitimately runs a club that hosts illegitimate people, and she has her hand in a lot of. I could see her riding that line.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she definitely rides the line. She has the club is very much still a part of her identity in the future, and her daughter is torn between her bad mom and her good dad.
Is Nissa dead? Nissa
I
Al Ghul
hope so.
dead in some way?
No.
No? She got out, that submarine actually worked?
You think
Yeah.
she's chilling with Sophia?
She's chilling with Edward.
I think that submarine doesn't work. I think
No.
I think
it goes down. And
I think it's
takes her
been
down.
MacGuffin. I think it's been 5 weeks worth of MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
And I think that's how she dies. Is the submarine takes her down.
Question: do you guys think that the show next week will start right away from the 10-year time jump, or it'll show us like?
It'll show us a little.
You would think if this week we left Bruce on a plane. We saw shots of Bruce.
We saw shots of him like somewhere else and be like, I can come if Gotham ever needs me, I'll be back. And he's like in the mountains, and so I think we get a little bit of that.
Okay.
I'm into that. I think.
I like that.
But I think the
At least
point
the
of
first,
view.
like 5-10 minutes.
If the
to be
show
good.
is called Gotham and it's about a young Bruce Wayne, if the penultimate episode ends with Bruce Wayne leaving Gotham, you would think we'd follow Bruce Wayne through wherever he went and then follow him back to Gotham. That's just my guess. That's my prediction. That's how we would. If he's been the conduit for the whole show, it'd be really weird if they just keep coming back to Gordon. Where I'm like, but we literally left on a plane with Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
This is weird to me.
With Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Jim Gordon, Bruce Wayne, both protagonists.
Yes.
Y'all have any predictions at large before we get on out of here?
That was it.
Cool.
That's all.
Super excited for the finale.
I know. I can't wait.
And Zach, where can the people find you in the meantime?
You can find me at Just Plain Zach all over the internet, everywhere.
And Carla?
And you guys can follow me on Instagram at I am Carla Beltran.
And I'm Steve Kaufman. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufman. That is KAUFMANN. I'm involved in literally way too many YouTube pages. If I'm tweeting the link, chances are I'm involved. So support me by supporting them. For Zach Peter and Carla Beltran, I'm Steve Kaufman, and we have one more week. Good night.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.